Hi, welcome again. Let's continue from where we left it in previous video. I had decided to divide this video in two parts because original video was getting very long. So let's not waste time and continue to our topic. Let's move to next paragraph. They talk about G protein here a lot, and G protein is the keyword for our 14th question. But I'm not going to explain this one. Our answer could be D because all other options are ruled out. You guys can pause this video and check why this one is the answer. Now move to find the information question for E paragraph. They mention an experiment here, this recent study. So I'm not going to think twice, but I'm just going to write down E in front of first question here. Second question, did they talk about any future application? No, they didn't talk about any future application. You guys can pause this video and try to see if they talk about it or not. Did they talk about plants or animal here? No, they didn't talk about plants or animal here. So fourth question is spread process of bitterness inside of body. Did they talk about this thing? Yes. Check from sixth line. Once a bitter signal has been received, it is relayed via protein known as G protein. So they talk about something here. This kind of giving me vibe. This might be answer of our fourth question. So we are going to write down E in front of fourth question. Let's move to next question. Fifth. Did they talk about AMP here? No. Any unhealthy impacts? They didn't talk about anything like that. Did they talk about fruit? No. Did they talk about genetics here? No. They didn't talk about anything here. So our answer, probable answer could be first or fourth. So after reading F paragraph, I didn't find anything important here. This is not answer of any of this question, but you guys can verify this thing. But as I read this one twice, I didn't find anything interesting. So let's move to the next paragraph. Okay, so at this point our all other questions are already done, so we are just left with find the information type of questions. So right now we just have to read this one and we have to decide whatever question are left. So when we read this paragraph, they talk about AMP a lot. By looking, we can see they talk about AMP 3 times already here. So it might be answer of our AMP question, like AMP this one, but I'm not sure. So we are going to look at one by one. Seems to have an experiment here. At this colleague discovered this part, but not so strong. So we ruled out first question. They didn't talk about any future application in this one. They didn't talk about animal or plant in this one. They didn't talk about spread process of bitterness. No. Fifth question, AMP seems to have keyword match. But when we read this paragraph, it seems they talk about how AMP works. So it could be the answer. Because how AMP blocks bitterness, so this could be our answer. But so we write down G in front of fifth question, but we are not sure yet. So we are going to look for next questions as well. Did they talk about any unhealthy impacts here? No. Did they talk about any fruit here? No. Did they talk about genetics in this one? No. So let's move to next paragraph. In H paragraph, they didn't mention any experiment, future applications, animal, spread process of bitterness, but they talk about AMP here. They talk about AMP a lot in this one as well. They talk about here, but didn't mention how it blocked the bitterness. But they did talk about some health benefit where they add potassium chloride in the diet of average human. Also it remove harshness out of children's cough syrup. So 6 seems probable answer. So I'm going to put H in front of 6 question. But still I'm not sure. So I'm going to look further. So I'm going to look at 7th question. Did they talk about any fruit here? Yes, they talk about cherry or grape here. So 7th question. Bitterness introduced from a fruit. They did mention fruit here, cherry or grape, but in the question bitterness introduced from a fruit, but in here they are talking about bitter blockers could also be used in place of cherry or grape. So that means it is the opposite thing they are talking about here. So this could not be our answer. 8th question is genetic feature determines sensitivity, but in this paragraph they don't talk about genetics at all. So let's move to the last paragraph. They didn't mention experiment, but tried to look closely. They didn't talk about experiment conducted on this paragraph. They just mentioned they are experimenting only. So future application, look at future application. Second question. They talk about California in a few years, perhaps after food companies have taken the bitterness from canned soup and TV dinners. This line tell us about future. So this could be our answer. So let's see. So let's put just front of second question we put I option. But keep looking at all another questions as well. Did they talk about human and animals? No. Did they talk about spread process of bitterness inside of body? No. How AMP block bitterness? So we have keyword here AMP, but they are not explaining that how AMP blocks here bitterness. So this one will be not our answer. 6th. Some bitterness blocker may help lower unhealthy impacts. No. Bitterness introduced from a fruit. No, we didn't have fruit here. We just have grapefruit juice here. Genetic feature determines sensitivity. No, they don't talk about genetics here at all. So after doing this all exercise, we end up some questions with multiple options. So let's try to sort this one out. So let's look at first 6th question. Since H is answer of only 6 question, so we can remove D out of it. So our answer could be H for this one, because D is twice and D is answer of this one only here, and H is only for this one, so we can just cross this one out. Similarly, look for 4th question. E is the answer of first and 4th, but E is not the answer of any another question, so we can cross out the E option from front of first question. So we end up with B point here and B point here. Since B is the answer of first, we can remove from the front of 5th question B, since G is only of this question answer. So after doing this, our answer sheet should be look like this. Now we can indicate the place where we find the answer of all find the information kind of question, such as first indicate here with red color highlighter is 7th question, and similarly second question with yellow color, we find our answer at these locations. For 7th question we find here, and first question we find at this place. Here also indicated with these markers. For 3rd question, this place. For 8th question, at this place. Next question. For 4th question we find at this place, quite a big area. For 5th question we find at this place. For next question, 6th question, we find at this place. For 2nd question we find at this place. After observing all these find the information, type of questions, answer location. We can see this thing, they are all located at the middle of paragraph, not at the start of paragraph, and sometimes not at the end of paragraph. So whenever we got this kind of questions in exam, try to do this with this strategy which I taught in this video, and always focus in the middle of paragraph. So whenever we got this kind of question in exam, try to do this with this strategy which I taught in this video, and always focus in middle of paragraph instead of front and last line. If you have any doubt, please write down comments below. I will try to answer as much as I can, and this topic will end here. This video is quite long, but if you stay to the end, then you will learn the process. Soon I will release shorter version of this video as well. Please like, subscribe and share. Goodbye till the next video.